Hey guys, you're watching Mama's Mess of Makeup. So today we got something a little bit different for you. This is not makeup related, so to those of my makeup lovers out there, I do apologize. But I wanted to do something a little bit different because the last time I posted a picture on my Facebook page of my chicken and dumplings that I made, I had quite a few people commenting that they wanted the recipe. And I promised several people that I would get it to them, and I just never did. Not purposely, I just lost track of time, and then of course one thing led to the next, never got done. So I figured I'd do one better and just show you how I make it. For anyone that has made chicken and dumplings before, it is a very long process. I do have to give credit. This is actually my mother's recipe. So shout out to Mama Claire. And I do have my daughter Savannah with me today. She's gonna be my little helper. So if you guys are interested in watching how we make our chicken and dumplings, stick around. We're gonna get started. Okay, so this is a rough idea of what you're gonna need if you're gonna make this. Now, when I make it, I usually eyeball a good bit of it. You're gonna need at least 2 cartons of the 32-ounce chicken broth. You're also going to need some bouillon cubes, some chicken flavored bouillon cubes. Obviously, depending on what vegetables you want in it, we have the carrots and the celery. And we also have some garlic. You're going to need, if you are going to make your own dumplings, you're going to need flour. You're going to need a little bit of baking powder, a little bit of salt and pepper if you like pepper. My mother taught me to put parsley flakes in the dough, so that's what we do. So we have that. And what are we missing? Is that everything? Oh, and the egg. You're going to need the egg to mix in with the dough to make it into the dumplings. So as I'm cooking, I'll say how much I'm using, but a lot of it, again, is just kind of added in after the fact, and it's done by taste. But the very first thing you want to do is you want to get a nice sized pot, and you're going to get a whole chicken that's cut up, okay? It's easiest to get it that way if you can. Otherwise, you can buy like a pack of thighs, and you can buy a pack of the split chicken breast, and you want to buy the ones that already have the skin and the fat like still on it. You don't want to get the ones that are cleaned yet. So buy those, and then once you get them home, you're going to stick them in a pot like this, and you're going to cover them with just enough water to where you can boil them. So we've already boiled them. Now from start to finish, it usually takes me about 2 hours or more to do chicken and dumplings. It is a process. And we do make our own dumplings, so I'll show how to do that as well. Now while that's boiling, you can cut up your vegetables. So we like to have the celery and carrots, and I bought some garlic as well that we can add to it. Okay, so right now she is taking some of the celery stalks and she's kind of cutting it right down the middle to then chop them in little pieces. So far, I think we're going to end up using probably 4 or 5 of these celery sticks. And obviously, we're not going to let her do this unsupervised. She's got a big knife, so we're going to make sure we're watching. Make sure those pieces are nice and small.
Most of them are, so I'll just look over.
You're doing a good job.
I'll look over them after I'm done cutting.
Okay.
That's what I usually do with everything.
Okay, so this is the end product as far as how much vegetables we have. If I were guessing, I would say it's probably 2 full cups. Probably a cup of carrots, and it's probably a cup of celery. And again, we are going to dice up a little bit of garlic to throw in, but not much because garlic is very strong. In the meantime, what I did, I strained our water, okay? So the water I was cooking the chicken in, I took the chicken out, it is sitting. I strained the water to get all those chunks of fat and whatnot, all the stuff floating it off. That's as good as I could get it, okay? We've got it on like medium-high heat because we want it to boil. So what we're going to do now, we're going to add the vegetables to this. That way they can start softening. We're going to add bouillon cubes to it, and we're also going to add one of the 32-ounce containers of the chicken broth to this. Yeah. Okay, so she's adding, by the handful, she's adding the carrots and the celery in. Go, double ball, baby.
I don't want to burn myself.
Well, no, you won't. You're good. It's pretty deep in the pan.
Oh, splashed me though.
You okay?
Yeah. So just a little.
I'm hoping it's going to be enough because we're going to make quite a bit. You good?
It splashed me.
Do you want me to finish it?
I was scared.
Oh, don't do that. You're throwing it everywhere.
Here, I can just.
Oh, hold on. Easy. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. You got carrots down to the burner.
Okay.
Okay, I don't advise that. All right, so now we're gonna let that kind of sit. We're gonna add, again, 32 ounces of the chicken broth, and then we're gonna add some bouillon cubes. I also bought some of this stuff here. This is better than bouillon. I don't know, it's like a paste almost. I just wanted to try this out for the first time. So we're gonna add some of that too. And then we're gonna let that sit while we take the chicken apart and we start making our dough. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so the next part is making the dumplings to put into our broth that is currently boiling. We have the vegetables that are in there, they're getting soft. We're gonna keep that on a low boil the entire time we're doing this. That way by the time we're done with the dumplings, we'll be able to put the chicken in, we'll be able to drop the dumplings in, and the vegetables will be nice and soft, and then all we have to do is just kind of let it simmer. So what you have to do now, depending on how many dumplings you like to have in your soup, I like a lot of dumplings. I like there to be more dumplings than I like chicken. That's just me. I guess I'm a weirdo, but that's just how I like it. So I'm gonna start off with what I have written, and then if need be, I can add more. So I'm gonna take that 2 cups of flour and I'm gonna put it in a relatively decent sized bowl. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the tablespoon of baking powder and I'm gonna dump that in as well. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little bit of salt. Again, I'm not measuring this. I'm just kind of winging it when it comes to the salt and the pepper. It's whatever your preference is. So I'm just going to kind of get, I don't know, like a really tiny handful and toss that in. And I'm going to do the same thing with the pepper. Whoops, and I made a friggin' mess. That was nice. With the pepper, I'm not going to put as much because I'm not a huge fan of pepper. Just a little bit. That's good. Well, there's pepper everywhere anyway, just... Okay. So the next thing I have to do, according to my mama's recipe, is I have to beat an egg in a side bowl, which is what I'm going to do now. Oh, we can just do it all over the table. Okay, so apparently I've never cracked an egg before. That hasn't happened in a while. That's what we got so far. We're gonna mess. Stupid egg. So we're about to beat an egg in a side bowl as soon as I have another egg to beat up. Take out my aggression. And we're going to add this to our flour mixture here. So we're just going to beat that until it's well mixed. Did anybody else as a kid make like fake cooking shows, like when you guys were cooking? You act like you got an audience and you were cooking? I did it all the time. I guess I'm a goober. Okay, so now we're going to add that egg mixture to our flour mixture. And then we're going to add little by little a half a cup of water. So, and you might need a little bit more, it just depends. You don't want your dough to be like gummy or really, really sticky. If it ends up feeling like that, you need to add a little bit more flour to it. So we're going to add a little bit, and then we're going to mix. So we'll show you what we're doing here. Because we're making a dough, so we want it to be kind of thick. And you want to be able to kind of move it around in your hands without it like sticking to your fingers really bad. So we need to definitely add some more. Show inside the bowl there. It's starting to get dough-like, but it's still pretty thick. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more water. And this, again, this is the hardest part just because it's really easy to mess this up if you put too much water or too much flour. So you might have to adjust it as needed. So I'm going to kind of start using my hands to mix it around now to kind of knead it together and get it to where I want it. I hate the way it feels with flour on my hands. I can't stand it. Okay, so this is like after kneading for what, like 5 minutes at least? At least. It takes a lot of work to get the dough where you want it, and it's still not completely where I want it. It still has like chunks of flour in it, and you really don't want to have chunks of flour in it. So you just want to keep kneading until you have the consistency that you want. So I think what I'm going to do is take it out now and continue to work it. Work it. And it's a huge pain in the rear end. Oh yeah, and wash your hands before you get started, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be gross. Uh-oh. I don't know, what do you think, Fanny?
I think it's getting good.
You think it's good?
Yeah. It's getting there. What does it feel like?
Like dough.
Well,
Like really thick dough. I'm thinking maybe we need a little bit of water. I don't know, like I'm worried to put some in there. Do I want to take that gamble? I don't know. I don't want to ruin it. I'm scared. She's laughing at me. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit more water because I feel like it's too thick. I really hope I don't ruin it. That's a good stress ball right there.
A big ball of dough.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's probably all we needed. Was that little bit more water. We're going to take flour and coat our rolling pin in that. And we're also going to put flour down on top of this parchment paper. And that's going to keep it from sticking. So, yeah, now that we've got it kind of feeling a little gummy, because I had to add that little bit of water to it, we might need to add some more flour. Just a tiny little bit to coat the sides, because we don't want it sticking. My son asked me to make him some chicken and dumplings because he wasn't feeling very well, so that's what we're doing. So now I'm going to take that flour I was saying, and I'm going to coat the parchment paper in it. Just put a little bit down with my hands. I can't stand the way this feels. Oh, gives me the heebie-jeebs. And I'm just going to go like this. I can't do it. I don't know why that bothers me so bad, but it does. Like, I don't like the way it feels on my hands at all. Are any of you guys weird about textures? There's a couple textures I can't handle too much, and this is one of them. That grittiness, it drives me crazy. Okay, so I'm going to take that dough, and we're just going to plop it down, okay? And then I'm going to take my rolling pin, and I'm going to coat that in flour. Just like this. Just a little bit, just to keep it from sticking to the rolling pin. Okay, and then I'm gonna start rolling this out. Okay, so I'm just getting in there. And you want to make this very thin, because the thinner you make it, the more dumplings you're gonna have. And to be completely honest with you, if there's any thickness to this at all, your dumplings are going to be huge, because this is really going to swell up once you get it in that broth. And it is a pain to flatten. I'm thinking what we should do. Bad baby. Okay. We're going to do little pieces at a time because it's not wanting to cooperate like that. You want it really thin. Ideally this would roll, but this pizza, or this rolling pin is older than dirt and it doesn't roll the way I want it to. He tried, didn't he? I think this is why most people just buy this crap at the store. Pre-made. So they don't have to go through all this. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these. This is half of the dough. The other half I haven't fooled with yet. I flattened this the best that I could. I'll show you how thick it is. It's very thin, okay? You don't want it any thicker than that because then your dumplings will be completely huge. So we're just going to start cutting this. I'm going to start at one end. And it just depends on how big you like your dumplings. But I'm just going to do like this all the way up to make it easier on myself. And then I'm going to go back the other way. Now when I put these in the pot, I usually thin them out again. I usually stretch them a little bit and then dump them in because they tend to swell back up a little bit while they're like waiting for me to get done. But I'm just going to toss them on a plate while I'm, you know, getting ready to do the next one. Okay, so I don't know what caused that, but my hands are so irritated right now. I don't know if you guys can see that. Like, they're itching really, really bad, and they feel like they're on fire. And I don't know if it's from handling that flour or what, but I have never had a reaction like that before. It's very strange. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut up like I did the last time. I'm going to wash my hands again and put on some gloves, and then we're going to start tossing these in the pot and then get the chicken in the pot so we can get this show on the road, because it's getting late and it's taking a long time to get this stuff ready. This is the pile of dumplings that we have. What I'm going to do, first of all, I turned our broth back up a little bit because we want this boiling when we drop the dumplings in, because that's going to make the dumplings expand. It's going to kind of make them form, and we're going to do it one by one, so it's, again, a long process. We've already got it boiling. What we're going to do is we're going to stretch these out a little bit because from sitting they've kind of shrunk back up. But we don't want them too thick because if I toss them in like that, they're going to be really thick when they get done. So we're going to do like this. Okay, and I'm going to toss it in. And when you do that, it's going to start cooking. But we're going to keep going here. I'm going to try to do it quickly. And we have not put our chicken back in yet, but we will do that after all of our dumplings are added. You can see them starting to swell up there. They will calm down after it's cooked for a while. Okay, so this is what it looks like after we've got all those little dumplings tossed in here. We're going to let this simmer for a while, and then we're going to shred all the chicken we have in this bowl that's been chilling forever now. We're going to shred that and toss that in as well. But we want these dumplings to kind of cook a little bit, that way they're not gummy, because then they don't taste very good when they're gummy. And right now some of them look pretty thick, so I'm hoping they chill out a little bit. Usually they do, but this is our bowl of chicken. We're going to go ahead and strip that. We're going to take all the fat off of this chicken. We're going to get all the bones off of it. We're going to get just the meat, and we're going to toss that in. That way we have some chicken with our chicken and dumplings. Okay, so I'm just going through and tearing apart this chicken that we've had sitting. And when you tear it apart, the way I do it is I just pull it in like in little pieces. So like it's almost like it's shredded. It's up to you however, you know, the size of the chicken that you throw in there, but I just like to shred it like this. We've already put 2 thighs in the pot. We already tore them up and threw them in there. If you don't like dark meat, don't put dark meat in it. Just do the chicken breast. It's whatever you like. You don't have to do, you know, both of them if you don't want to. It's all preference. But I like it the way my mother showed me how to do it because it tastes really good that way. And you'll just have to take my word for it. Alright, Fanny Banana, you want to toss that in for me?
Mm-hmm. So this is the chicken. I'm getting ready to put it in the pot. So just put it in there slowly, the way it doesn't splash everywhere. Make sure not to burn yourself.
That looks really good.
I know. It smells really good too.
Give it a good stir for us. Let's see what it's looking like. We might have to add some more broth because it's kind of it evaporated just a little bit. We can always add more bouillon to it too to kind of get that chicken flavor.
That is our dumplings.
Ooh.
It's looking good.
Not bad.
I think that's enough chicken, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll have to come look at it here. Looks
good,
delicious.
I know.
Yeah.
That looks good. That looks good.
Okay, so we already put 2 full cartons of this chicken broth in. And again, we added that to the water that we boiled the chicken in. So what we're going to do now, just because it is pretty thick, I'm going to add just a little bit more. I don't want to ruin it, but I want to make sure we have a little bit more broth. So I'm going to say maybe like a half a container I added to it. And then I'm going to dump maybe just a very little bit more of this bouillon stuff. This, better than bouillon. It's bougie bouillon.
Bougie bouillon.
So I'm just going to grab a little bit more, like maybe, oh, I don't know, it doesn't need much. Maybe like that. And I'm just going to stir that in there. But with this kind of stuff, you just have to taste it. You have to taste it and see if it, you know, it's where you want it. And if not, you just add stuff to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna taste the broth and see what I think. If it's too strong, we can add a little bit more broth. And if it's not strong enough, we can add a little bit more bouillon. But at this point, you're kind of just adding salt and pepper or whatever you want to season it to make it, you know, to your liking. But I think at this point, we're pretty good. So I'm just gonna give it a taste here. And that is so good. It's perfect. So, Momo, if you're watching this, for one, I want to thank you for giving me your recipe. And number two, we might have to bring you a bowl because this is like on point. Everyone's ideas of dumplings are different for chicken and dumplings, but mine are more like noodles,
That
okay?
looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait about 25 minutes and we're going to let this all simmer because it lets all the flavors mesh together. It kind of gets the chicken soft again. It gets the noodles where they need to be. And then after the 25 minutes, we'll come back and we'll do like a little taste test and see what we think about the finished product. So thanks for sticking around. Okay, so everything's done. They finally got their bowls. We're going to go ahead and get the reaction on camera. What do you think, Savannah?
I think it's a little too hot right now.
Well, it is too hot. We just took it out of the pot.
Yes, I want to try every bit. Ooh. The broth is really good. Thumbs up for that.
Just take a full bite for me. Is it yummy?
That's good. I'm gonna try a piece of chicken now.
Is it like Momo's?
Yes.
Oh, we gonna have to take her a bowl.
The chicken's amazing.
Good. Sounds like it's a win, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Sickly, you're next.
I've been looking forward to this all day, and then you want to teach me saying there's 10 minutes left.
I'm sorry, we had to let it simmer, dude. If someone's not feeling too good, make them some chicken noodle soup or some chicken and dumplings. It's a good meal to make.
The chicken's tender.
Good. Just don't eat too fast because I don't want you getting sick again.
We're taking Mama a bowl of this because I think this is better than Mama.
Don't say it. Don't you dare.
Like, I'm not like, I think this is better than Mama's.
Oh, Mama, I'm sorry. I love you. Look, she's probably going to be watching this and be so mad. This is her recipe, so she created this.
But anything else she cooks is, I think, is better.
You hear that? All right,
I
well.
think they're about the same.
I think they probably are too. He's just starving to death because he's been getting sick all day and is hungry. All right, guys, you heard it. Turned out pretty good. I can't wait to get a bowl.
The dumplings are really good.
Good. I was worried they were going to be too thick. No?
They're actually too thin.
Too thin? We smashed them a little bit.
Well, we hope you guys liked this video.
Yeah,
Give it a
thanks for
thumbs up.
watching.
Yes, give it a thumbs up, turn on the notification button, and subscribe.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.
I gotta
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.